Look around you: milk, bread, eggs, tomatoes. These aren't luxuries, they're life itself. And yet, every time you walk into a grocery store, it feels like you're paying more for less. We've been told it's inflation, or supply chain issues, or a war on the other side of the world, but that's not the whole truth. Because while you're cutting back, stretching every paycheck, someone is getting rich. For thousands of years, humans worked just to grow enough to survive. Wheat for salt, fish for spices, trade became the bloodstream of civilization. In the 1700s, a British family spent 3/4 of their income just on food. In France, 70% went to bread alone. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Machines, railroads, ships. By 1900, food was cheaper. By the 1950s, the world was stitched together. Standard containers, ships, trains, trucks, all speaking the same language. The US dollar, the glue of global trade. Your phone may travel through 40 countries before reaching your hand, but your tomatoes? Almost as far. In northern Mexico, workers bend under the sun, picking tomatoes while still green, loading them into cooled trucks. Treated with ethylene gas, the tomatoes ripen on cue. They cross the border, sorted in giant warehouses, repacked, and shipped north. 9 days, over 1,000 kilometers, from field to grocery shelf. And somehow, they're still cheaper than the ones from your local farmer. This is the miracle, and the weakness, of the modern food system. One storm, one border delay, one spike in fuel prices, and the whole chain trembles. Then came COVID, borders slowed, ships sat anchored at sea, truckers quit. And companies had the perfect explanation: our costs are up. We have no choice but to raise prices. And we believed them. But then, they realized something. They could raise prices, and customers wouldn't leave. Take eggs. When bird flu hit, millions of chickens were lost. Egg prices exploded. But then the numbers came out. The largest egg producer tripled its profits during the outbreak. Shareholders got hundreds of millions. And production? It barely dipped. That's not supply and demand. That's taking advantage. And it's possible because in many parts of the food industry, there's barely any competition left. 4 companies control 85% of beef processing. 3 dominate pasta. 2 control canned tuna. 1 owns the genetics for most seeds. When an industry is that concentrated, they don't compete to lower prices. They quietly move together to raise them. While corporate profits hit record highs, families cut back. The cost of a basic grocery plan for a family of 4 jumped more than 30% in just a few years. More people turn to food banks, and your tax dollars quietly keep corporate profits safe. This isn't just about your grocery receipt, it's about power, the power to decide how much it costs for you to survive. The same pattern repeats across the grocery store: beef, poultry, dairy, grains, all tied up in the hands of a few giants. And when a crisis hits, whether a pandemic, a war, or a storm, they all point to the same story: our costs are up. Prices must rise. But behind closed doors, these same companies report record profits to their shareholders. They talk about pricing power, favorable market conditions, the corporate way of saying, we can charge more, and you'll still pay. Let's be clear, real crises do exist. Drought in the Mediterranean pushed olive oil prices up. A freeze in Texas wiped out citrus crops. The war in Ukraine disrupted grain and fertilizer supplies. Floods, fires, pests, all of these really do impact what it costs to grow food. But here's the uncomfortable truth: these events aren't just disruptions, they're opportunities to keep prices high long after the crisis fades. It's not just happening in eggs. Frozen potatoes, poultry, even turkey producers have all faced price-fixing scandals. Snack food giants and chocolate companies openly told investors they raised prices above inflation, just to protect margins. So while your grocery bill jumped, corporate margins hit their highest levels in 70 years. Food isn't like electronics. You can put off a new phone. You can't skip dinner. And that's why this works. You will pay, because you have to. But it doesn't have to work this way. There are places doing it differently. In Mexico, the government sat down with farmers, suppliers, even Walmart, to create a basic basket of affordable food. Rice, meat, vegetables, milk, all sold at a fixed, affordable price. About $40 to feed a family, and in 1 year, that price dropped 12%. It wasn't forced price control. It was negotiated, a shared recognition that food must be affordable for everyone. Imagine if that happened here. We built a system capable of feeding billions, but also capable of squeezing them dry. Food isn't like vacations or gadgets. It isn't optional. You can skip the new phone. You can't skip dinner. And yet, the people who decide how much you pay aren't farmers, and they aren't you. They're corporations. Executives talk about margins, shareholders talk about returns, and you're just trying to buy groceries. And every crisis, every drought, every virus, every war, becomes another excuse to push prices higher. The truth is, these aren't just shocks. They're opportunities to make you pay more than you should. And we accept it because we've been trained to. We're told it's the market. We're told it's inevitable. But food isn't just another commodity. It's survival. And the question we all have to ask is simple. Should survival be a business model? In Mexico, they showed another way. They proved food prices don't have to rise endlessly. They negotiated, not forced. They asked, what's fair? What does it take to feed a family without breaking them? And the result? A basic basket of rice, meat, vegetables, and milk, affordable again. In 1 year, the cost of that basket dropped 12%. This wasn't charity, it was policy. It was recognition that food isn't just another product on a shelf. And here, the system remains tilted. Designed not for eaters, not for farmers, but for profit. Every price tag you see isn't just ink on paper. It's power. It's who gets to decide how much survival costs. We accept it, because we've been told this is how the market works. But markets aren't laws of nature. They're rules, written by people. And rules can be changed. They've been changed before, they'll be changed again. So the real question isn't whether food prices must rise. The question is, who do we want writing the story of our survival? We built this food system, piece by piece, law by law, choice by choice. And now, we're living inside it, whether it serves us or not. For many families, the system no longer feels like a miracle. It feels like a trap. Because if bread, milk, and eggs are too expensive, what choice do you really have? Every receipt tells a story, of farmers, of corporations, of policies, of power. And the story isn't finished. It's still being written. So who should be holding the pen? Corporations? Governments? Or us, the people who eat? Food isn't just about survival. It's about dignity, community, life itself. And when food becomes unaffordable, that dignity is stolen. This is why governments exist. To protect the basics of life when markets fail. Because food isn't like a vacation. It isn't like a car. It isn't optional. It's the foundation of everything else. It's survival. And yet, right now, survival has become one of the most profitable businesses on earth. So what do? Do we accept it, or do we demand something better? In Mexico, they asked that question, and answered it. They proved food prices don't have to crush families. And if it can be done there, why not here? The truth is, we already know the answer. We just have to decide if we care enough to act. Because every price tag has a story, and it's worth asking, who's really writing it? And if we don't like the ending, maybe it's time to pick up the pen ourselves.